Start of document. Hi, my name is Mark Spielman. I'm writing this in order to keep my sanity I have left, in order to tell everyone about that girl. I dream about her all the time. I can't get her face out of my head. Those eyes, that smile. Who is she? Who is Janice? I'm what you would call an indoors type of person. I never go outside much. I just sit by my computer and look up for fucked up shit on the internet. I'm well versed on the internet memes, YouTube fads, and the best porn sites. I'm not what you would call a porn addict, but when I do watch it, I know where to go. I know the internet inside and out, so when I find out the local police department was looking to hire people with extensive knowledge of the internet, I jumped at the opportunity. I was one of many looking for a job, but as fate would have it, I was a lucky one. The police chief who hired me had patted me on the back as I walked into my new office and said, "I hope you're ready for this, Mark. There's a lot of crazy shit out there." I smiled at him and said, "Believe me, sir, I've seen it all." My job began with basic stuff, mostly just finding various websites that uploaded child pornography, taking them down, along with grabbing the users who were stupid enough to not use a proxy. And for the first few weeks, it was very mundane work. But as time went on, things got more interesting. Some people were smart enough to hack into police databases and post different files of murder victims, confidential cases hidden from the public, etc. By my third month of work, I was dealing with everything from child porn, to extremely clever hackers. The pay could have been somewhat better, but I love the work. My life was finally beginning to have some meaning, even if I was still sitting in front of a monitor 24/7. But one day, the life I was working so hard to build came crashing down. I was browsing the internet as usual, trying to find sites with child pornography. I was getting really disturbed by how much sick shit was on the internet. It was like battling a hydra to take down one site and two more take its place. I found a website with a URL called sweet15.com. I thought of what it might mean and clicked on it. What saw made my heart skip a beat. This was the biggest child porn site I have ever seen, and being the first one to find it, and being able to take it down, and find it all the sick bastards behind this would make me a hero, not to mention an insane bonus I'd be getting. Oh, I can see those dollar signs now. This would be a landmark case. Hundreds would be sent to jail, and I'd be the head of it. I composed myself and started delving into the website's content. Just one picture or video depicting someone having sexual contact with a child would have been enough to get a warrant to locate any user's IP address. The pictures and videos weren't embedded, so I clicked on their links to view their content. I went to some random page and clicked on a random picture entitled Kathy.jpg. I looked at the picture. It was just a picture of a young girl with long hair and pale skin, around 15, 16, standing in a dimly lit room with a smile on her face. Not a full, toothy smile, but just a slight grin. That was it. Nothing sexual whatsoever. In fact, the girl in the picture seemed rather modestly dressed. I was about to click away from the picture when I noticed a URL. The picture I was on, according to the URL, was not Kathy.jpg. It was another picture file entitled Janice.jpg. I found that rather odd and decided to go to another picture, Susan.jpg. I clicked on the link. My happiness at finding the site was fading faster than it came. The picture I clicked on directed me to the exact same picture as before. I looked around with about 50 more, and everyone was the same picture. Was the same. I gave up and decided to look at the videos. Well, I clicked on any file. pennyprecious.wav. There was no video, just that damn picture file. Janice.jpg. I called a few people from my office and asked them to help me go over more files of the website. At the end of the day, we had gone through over thousands of files and had to concede that the website was just a sick joke by some prankster who made a bunch of fake files directed to the same picture file. I packed my bags and left the office, feeling disappointed. But I also felt something that scared me as I was driving home. A rising sense of panic, as though if I didn't search for that site more thoroughly, something terrible would have happened. I opened my door to my house and went straight to my computer. I turned it on and went to the site. I went deeper into the site, looked at the source code, trying to find anything that would lead me to something else. But every file on the site went to the same damn picture file. Her face was now burned into my skull, and now I couldn't stop seeing it until I found who she was. I went into the deepest logs in the site, and I felt like throwing my monitor out the window when my jaw dropped. On the very last page of the picture file logs, there was a lone picture file called Janice.jpg. I knew this one had to be different. With sweat trickling down my forehead, I brought my cursor to the link and clicked on it. It was essentially the same picture as Janice.jpg, but it was in black and white, and from my mouse over it, I realized that clicking on the picture would direct me to another link. I clicked on it. My browser shut down immediately, my computer crashed, and all that was left on my monitor was the infamous blue screen that signaled certain doom to my hard drive. I cursed and turned it back on. After a few attempts, I was able to get my desktop. It was the most fucked up virus I've ever encountered. All my programs were deleted, and a pop-up box said that 1,000 picture files were being copied to my hard drive. But the thing that made me nervous was my desktop picture. It was Janice, the black and white photo. Something about Janice's facial expression was different. In the regular photo, she appeared to have a slight smile on her face. In this picture, she was frowning. Not out of disappointment. I could see something in her eyes. A new expression. Fear. After the pop-up box closed, I went to the pictures to see what had been copied. I started with the first picture. It was essentially the same exact picture as the original Janice.jpg. I started clicking rapidly next to the few photos. They're basically the same, but I could see one thing that was changing. Her face. In which the picture she was smiling had morphed into a frown I had seen on my desktop. As I kept clicking more rapidly now, Xeria's mouth started to contort into a scream. The pictures were getting darker and darker, and the girl, more horrified, when around 100 pictures in, it faded to black. I clicked a few more times. Same black screen as before. After a few more clicks, however, there was another picture. A new one. This time, it was a picture of a bed, with what appeared to be a bundle with a blanket resting on top of it. The scene was a dark room with a few candles burning to light it up. I noticed in horror that there were red splotches on the wall behind the bed, which were what I knew had to be blood. I clicked on the next few pictures. There appeared to be a man walking into the frame. He grabbed the bundle on the bed and yanked the blanket from on top of it. My stomach lurched in fear as I saw the girl tied to the bed with her stomach ripped open. I couldn't stop clicking to the next picture. I was clicking so rapidly the picture seemed to be playing fluidly, like a flipbook. The man who had entered the picture was hunched over the girl now. I couldn't see what was going on. The picture faded to black again. I clicked a few more pictures, and the next thing I knew, it was staring at the picture of a man holding what appeared to be surgical tools, sitting over the girl with a fluorescent light shining above them. I watched in utter horror as the man plunged his tools into the girl's wide open stomach and started performing surgery on her. She was screaming in pain as I kept clicking. The man started yanking and tugging on her insides. I threw up on the ground after watching him rip out her guts piece by piece. The scene was so bloody the man had to go off screen and get a new frame of the camera. The pictures were so vivid, so detailed. I started crying as the man got up and walked away. His work was done. A few more pictures and it faded to black. I noticed how many pictures I had gone through. I was on picture 995 out of 1,000. I clicked slowly now in the dread of what might be waiting for me at the last picture. On picture 998, I saw a grainy photo of a young girl staring at me. Her eyes were blank, expressionless. I couldn't see her much. So into the next picture, 999. I could see what the picture was. I was face to face with Janice. Her face was covered in blood. Her eyes wide open but with emptiness, as I knew it was death. I clicked on the last photo. All that there was a black background with a large question mark in the center of the frame. Below it were large white letters with simply a question. A question that would haunt me till this very day. Who is Janice? End of document. Official police report 19743126. Officers found this document in Detective Mark Spielman's hard drive. We found the document stored on his computer along with what appears to be a note. All the note said was, "Who was Janice?" After going over multiple files on his computer, we found several documents pertaining as to who Janice might have been. From what we gathered, she was kidnapped from her family around 20 years ago. She was never found. Her parents vanished shortly after the kidnapping. Upon further investigation, officers found the computer code embedded in her picture. From what we can gather, it was a scrambled bit of code that, when deciphered, linked to a video file. However, upon viewing the file, the investigating officers deleted it and refused to divulge what they've seen. Mark Spielman was never found. This case has been discontinued.